What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Thrill Life podcast here on Coasters and Things YouTube channel. I'm Nick from Beyond the Thrills, here with Jason, Coasters and Things as always. What's going on, man?
Not much. What about you?
Doing well, and we are also here with our first guest for Series 3, a good friend of mine, Jack, Coaster Jawn. Jack, what's going on, man?
Hey, Nick. Hey, Jason. Nice to talk to you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to have you on today. Lot of news to discuss. As always, there's never a dull moment on this podcast. There's always something going on in the industry to talk about. So why don't we start with none other than the Golden Ticket Awards. These were released, Saturday? It was held at Dollywood, right?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday. So the Golden Ticket Awards are held, I believe, the second weekend of September every year.
Gotcha.
This is the 25th anniversary of the Golden Ticket Awards this year, by the way.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it'd been around that long.
So, yes, they were hosted at Dollywood this year. Dollywood has done it all this year. They hosted CoasterCon, they hosted the Golden Ticket Awards, and they racked up 5 Golden Ticket Awards this year. That's the most Golden Ticket Awards that one park has won in 1 year.
Awesome. So, why don't you...
Makes me very proud to be a Tennessee boy.
There you go. Why don't you list off the 5 that they won?
Okay. Well, I was going to go in order, but...
all right, yeah, go in order.
Yeah. So, first off, Best Amusement Park. Dollywood won this for the first time ever. This is the first time that a park that was not Cedar Point or Europa Park has won Best Amusement Park in the Golden Ticket Awards.
I'm honestly surprised that Dollywood hasn't gotten it before. I feel like that's pretty well deserved. Like, it gets such high praise every year, but good for them.
Some coaster enthusiasts don't like Dollywood because their coaster collection is more family oriented.
Yeah, I can see that. There definitely is like kind of a gap. Like, they could use a launch coaster of some sort.
They have like 3 launch coasters. They don't need
a more like major launch coaster, like a max
launch.
Yeah, like a Max Force maybe.
Maybe they need something that goes upside down again.
I'm still holding out hope for another mock extreme spinner going there. Another one in the Herschen family.
I am too.
That's a launch coaster. Yeah, there you go.
Gotta get that.
But yeah, Dollywood was Best Amusement Park. Best Water Park for the 25th straight year is Schlitterbahn.
No surprise there. That place looks awesome.
Schlitterbahn looks great. I think it probably should be second place in the Golden Tickets behind Volcano Bay, personally.
Yeah, that'd be like the one I'd have up there with it, probably.
Best Family Park, Dutch Wonderland. And
I
agree with this. Dutch Wonderland is a great family park. It really is.
Yeah, well deserved. Have a ton of memories there. There's a lot of really good family parks out there. I'm surprised Sesame Place has never won it, to be completely honest.
I've been to both those places. Dutch Wonderland is a lot better than Sesame Place.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that's super well deserved for Dutch Wonderland. I've only been there once, but like, honestly, it feels like a really, really nice park, like, especially for just something that's just supposed to be family friendly, like not really notable. But I really loved Kingdom Coaster there. Like, that thing, like the first CCI, like, honestly, I had no expectations for that, and it was great. And I think it's a lovely little park, especially for anybody visiting Hershey. That's like a great +1 park. Or +3, honestly.
Yeah. The first time I went there in 2021, I literally decided 30 minutes before I got there that I was going to go.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, because you went to Strasburg Railroad, right?
Yeah. Nick, you were the one that ultimately convinced me to go. Thank you for that.
Did I? Oh, yeah, I'm sure I did. Like I said, I have so many memories there, and it's totally well-deserving of this award once again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, next is Best Kids Area, Wild Grove at Dollywood.
I could see that. Yeah, that's still relatively new. What was that, 2019?
Yeah, I'll say I probably agree. I'll say, though, the foliage and trees need to grow in more.
You think so?
Yeah. So next is Best Guest Experience, Dollywood.
Nice.
I gotta say, I'm not sure if I would put this over Universal or Disney for guest experience overall.
You work there this summer. You tell us.
Yeah, it is really nice guest experience, but putting Dollywood over Disney and Universal for guest experience, I don't know about that.
I haven't been to Dollywood. I couldn't tell you. Jack, you haven't been there either, right?
I have not, but from what I've heard, I honestly don't hear a whole lot of complaints about Dollywood besides like Mystery Mine and like obviously and like lightning rods, poor operations.
You've
But
probably,
like
yeah, you've probably heard Mystery Mind's complaints from me.
I've heard it all over, man. Like, I mean, before and after they switched up that layout, like it just seemed, I don't know, like that's definitely one of my number one bucket list parks and a park that I really want to try to get out to next year. But yeah, I mean, lightning rods operations is why I did that. That's kind of scared me away. But it's been a little bit better recently. But as far as guest experience, I'd have to see for myself there.
The Herschend parks are very well managed.
Yeah, I can't really say. I mean, Universal is like both studios and Islands of Adventure are like in my top like 5 overall parks I've been to. So I think very highly of Universal Orlando. But yeah, I could see both Silver Dollar City and Dollywood and even Wild Adventures. I mean, I know they don't have anything like stand out-ish, if that makes sense, but it still looks like a nice park.
Next, most beautiful park, Wish Gardens Williamsburg.
Yep, that's definitely deserving.
I agree with this.
Could have called that.
They've won that category every single year, and now that I've been to that park, I totally understand why. I totally agree.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely well deserved.
Best food, Knoebels. I totally agree with that.
Oh
yeah, really good food, cheap, like everything is a lot of like grab and go as you walk. There's
so much food.
I feel like there's more food stands and employees working at the food stands than there are rides and ride operators. You know what I mean? Like, and most of the time when I go to a park, I don't usually even eat the food at that park. But Knoebels, I was getting a little bit of food here, a little bit of food there. All of a sudden, I spent like over $20 on food, which I like never do at a park. They fleeced me. It was so good.
When I was there this summer, my uncle must have had water ice like 4 times because we just kept walking near a different stand, and then I got like these Mac bites, a hot dog. The food is, again, it's cheap, so you're really not spending that much. You could spend as much on like one meal at a Cedar Fair or Six Flags park on 6 different items at Knoebels.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
I'm going to mention this next one real quick. They have retired the best wildlife and marine life park category after this year. SeaWorld Orlando officially won the Legend Award for that category because it won it every single year.
Why do you think they took it away?
I don't know. I thought that was a good category, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, same. I mean, there are a number of like SeaWorld and marine life parks. I feel like you could still have that award, but yeah, that's a little interesting.
But I agree with SeaWorld Orlando being the best marine life park. Breakout FEC, Funland of Fredericksburg. I thought it was going to go to Fun Spot Atlanta, to be honest.
I don't fully agree with that one. Yeah.
Then again, Fun Spot Atlanta won it 2 years ago.
Yeah, but they should have won it this year. They added Airy. They added Airy Force One this year.
Exactly.
See, but I feel like that's what now almost puts them outside of that category. You know what I mean? Now that they actually have a major steel attraction and they spent, tens of millions of dollars on that thing, I mean, everything else at the park's still an FEC, but now they're like, okay, now you're not even in that category anymore because of Air Force One. But I will say Funland of Fredericksburg, I have not been there, but that's been on my list for a while. Like I'm trying to get that +1, either going to or coming from Kings Dominion. It's like an hour down the road.
I considered going there when I went to Virginia this summer, but I ran out of time, sadly.
It's a good location. It's right off 95, so I'm not surprised that they've been growing.
Okay. Yeah. Best Halloween event, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal.
Yeah. Hollywood or
Orlando.
Okay. Orlando. Yeah. Both look great. I mean, overall, probably Orlando because they have the better collection of rides, but I hear great things about the haunt houses at Hollywood as well.
Yeah. Best Christmas event, Smoky Mountain Christmas at Dollywood. If I'm completely honest, now that I've been to Silver Dollar City at Christmas time, an old time Christmas at Silver Dollar City deserves it more than Smoky Mountain Christmas at Dollywood does.
What coasters do they have open during their Christmas event at Silver Dollar City?
All of them.
Wow, really?
Both Silver Dollar City and Dollywood have all their coasters open during Christmas time.
Well, when Lightning Rod wants to be open.
Yes, when Lightning Rod wants to be open, yeah.
What do we got next?
Next, best new show. It's some sort of French name. I'm probably not even going to try and pronounce it. Nick, if you want to, you can put it up on the screen in a text.
Okay. What park is it at?
Some place in France. I don't know how to pronounce it either.
Oh, I didn't even find this one. I don't even know this one.
But the category is best new show.
So it's a new show. Okay.
Yeah, it's a French show at a park in France.
Luckily, I don't think we have any viewers from France watching, so I think we're safe.
Best water ride, Valhalla at Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen videos of that.
If I'm gonna play, I predicted Dudley Do-Rights at Universal to win this, and Valhalla. Now that Valhalla's back open, it won it again.
Yeah, that's a great log flume. Popeyes is a great rapids ride as well. Escape from Pompeii is a really good one at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Yeah, there's so many water rides that are, worthy of that award.
Mystic River Falls looks great at Soy Dollar City.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Best water park ride, Mammoth at Splash and Safari at Holiday World. This is my favorite water park ride, and I'm so happy that it finally got the recognition it deserves.
Yeah, what's the other one called that usually wins?
Wildebeest.
Wildebeest, right?
It was second this year to Mammoth. The previous year's Mammoth has been second or third, and Wildebeest has always won.
Nice.
But this year, Mammoth won, and it's my favorite water park ride. So, there you go.
Nice.
Best dark ride, Rise of the freaking Resistance at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, definitely. I do think I like Flight of Passage, which is at Animal Kingdom, better. However, Rise of the Resistance is still awesome. You don't even have to like Star Wars to enjoy Rise of the Resistance. It's just such a cool ride. Like, I'm not even a Star Wars guy, but I appreciate Galaxy's Edge for what it is. Do I miss Streets of America? Yeah, I definitely do. Hollywood Studios is not the same anymore.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have Rise of the Resistance without Galaxy's Edge, so.
It kills me that I still haven't done Rise of the Resistance yet. I went in 2018 the last time before it opened.
The drop is so cool. It's just such a cool ride.
Way to spoil it, Nick, because, I haven't done it either. Yeah, the last time I went to Disney was 2017.
Well, yeah. Well, now you know.
You're good. But no, I'll just act like I didn't hear that. Yeah, no, I am a big Star Wars guy. And yeah, like, I got to get over there ASAP.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Yeah,
awesome.
This next one is a brand new category this year: Best Family Coaster, Big Bear Mountain at Dollywood. Personally, I think it won this because it's brand new. If I'm completely honest. My pick for the best family coaster would have been Hagrid's at Islands of Adventure.
Yeah, that still looks better than Big Bear Mountain. However, Big Bear Mountain looks good.
I think Hagrid should have won it for best family coaster myself. But Big Bear Mountain is still a good choice.
Some don't consider Hagrid's a family coaster, though.
I was going to say, like, has it won that category before? Because it might be, like, slightly above that in their eyes.
It's a brand new category this year.
Okay.
And best innovation, the 208 retrack by RMC.
Okay.
Next up, before we get to the best new for 2023 awards, I'm going to do the top 10 steel coasters and top 10 wooden coasters this year.
All right, go 10-1 to make it a little more interesting.
Yeah, because they have the top 50 for each one listed on Amusement Today's website. We don't have time to run through 50. So I'm going to run through the top 10 for each one.
All right, good call.
For steel, it was actually a tie for 9th place between Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion and Maverick at Cedar Point.
That's literally my number 1 and my number 2.
Yeah. those are both like top 5, top 6 for me.
I think that's like insanely low, though. Like, the fact that neither of those are even in the top 5 is a little concerning to me. But hey, not my list. So
yeah,
do what you want to do, Amusement Today. I don't agree with that, but
yeah. Number 8, Terran at Fantasialand.
All right, yeah,
that's acceptable. That ride looks really good.
That always gets ranked pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it's more so for what's around the actual ride than the actual layout, though.
For sure.
Number 7, Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England.
Absolutely not.
That is actually, I think, the lowest that ride has ever ranked. Personally, I am not as high on Superman the Ride as I used to be.
Yeah, no, I don't even think that should be top 10. Top 50? Sure.
I think that just gets grandfathered in because it's just like a legend of the Golden Ticket Awards. You know what I mean? From like the the 2000s, and now they're just like we just got to keep it on the list.
Yeah, it won the Golden Ticket Award 5 times back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was it and Millennium Force battling it out for the number 1 spot every year.
Yep.
But yeah. Number 6, Expedition G-Force at Holiday Park.
Yeah, that's got to be on there for sure.
I think that's
one of my bucket list. Yeah, that's one of my top bucket list roller coasters. I think when we did our top 10, that was like in my top 3.
I think that's maybe a little high, if I'm completely honest.
For what's been built in the last few years, yeah, I'd say that's a little high, but it should still be like top 20, I think.
Yeah, it's ranked as high as number 3 in the past. You know what also is ranked as high as number 3 in the past? Nitro.
Yeah, maybe like 20, maybe like 15, 20 years ago, I could see it, but
but anyway, number 5, Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa.
Well deserved.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that should be a little higher, honestly.
Yeah, I was actually going to say maybe top 3, but that's a good spot.
Number 4, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Oh, man.
Great ride.
Yeah, although...
that's low, too.
I know, and here's the thing. I swear, the past 4 years, I've predicted that Steel Vengeance was going to come at the number 1 spot, and it never does. And I predicted it again this year, and it was number 4. Last year was number 2.
Hey, man, what are you going to do? I mean, it's one of those rides that I feel like when it was announced and it first opened, the hype for it was like at an all-time high. And then for a while there, enthusiasts weren't giving it much recognition. They were saying it was overrated. I think just because everyone gave it so much attention when it first opened. And then now it's back to that, like, some say it's underrated and some say it's fine, but it's never been back to that level where people say it's the best coaster. Like, everyone still has it in their top 10, but not like top 3 anymore. It's my number 5.
It's my number 3.
Okay.
It's my number 1.
yeah, it's my number 3, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, enthusiasts, that's kind of like the reception now rather than when it first opened.
I was thinking because it was number 2 last year and because another coaster was closed for quite a bit this year that we're about to get to. I thought Steel Vengeance had a shot at taking the number 1 spot, but it didn't, sadly.
Yeah.
But anyways, number 3, Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure.
Great spot.
Naturally.
Yeah, really good spot. I agree with that spot. That is really good. Number 2, Millennium Force at Cedar Point.
Absolutely not.
No,
maybe like top 30. I don't know.
It won the Golden Ticket Award like what? 10 or 12 times back in the day for best steel coaster. I don't even think it belongs in the top 10 anymore.
Yeah, that's just another one like Superman where they're just like, well, we just got to give this thing respect for winning it so many times. Like, it's just gotta. It's like old NBA or NFL players that just keep getting All Stars or Pro Bowl nominations. Like, they're just grandfathered into it, but Millennium Force isn't even the second best steel coaster at the park. Like, so how can it be the second best in the world? I don't know.
I would say it's third best in the
That's
park.
what I mean. Yeah, it's not even in the top 2 of its own park.
I'm at 4th. I actually
true.
I actually have Raptor above Millennium Force.
And I think a lot of people would have Magnum above Millennium Force too. I have it right there.
I don't know about that one.
I think you've had a very common guest on here who would definitely have Magnum over everything at Cedar Point.
Hawk OG.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. But that's crazy that 3 of Cedar Point's coasters placed in the top 10.
Yeah. I have
I
Raptor above Millennium though. There are probably Cedar Point, fanboys like Nate that would have Millennium that high. Maybe even Magnum up there. I personally don't see either of those.
I don't like Magnum. But anyways, Millennium Force isn't even in my top 25 anymore.
It's fast. It's cool for what it is. It was probably so innovative for its time, but now the way technology has just come so far.
It was probably the best coaster in 2000.
Again, with technology this day and age, it's not as cool as some of these other rides. We're spoiled.
I mean, it deserves to be in the top 50 for sure, but definitely not number 2 over. The thing is, like, it being over Steel Vengeance and Maverick, in my opinion, is just crazy. But like I said, they love that thing, so it's always ranked highly.
Yeah, it's never. Think about this for a second. It's never ranked lower than number 3 since 2000.
Yeah, it's got to start dropping at some point.
I know. And finally, number 1. You probably know what it is. It's Fury 325 at Carowinds. For the 7th year in a row, Fury 325 has won the Golden Ticket Award for Best Steel Coaster, even with being closed most of the summer due to it having 2 cracked supports.
I was going to say, if that streak were to end, I would have guessed this year because of the fact that, it was closed most of the summer.
I thought the streak was going to end because it was closed a lot of the summer.
It's a great point. Yeah, no. If this were the year that Steel Vengeance could have, taken the crown, it would have been this year. Yeah.
I was hoping it was going to take the crown from Fury this year, but of course it didn't.
Yeah, but from what I can tell, I mean, I think Fury's super well deserving, and just to announce it here on the channel officially, I will find out finally officially later this week.
Hey,
great.
No. I'll be taking a day trip on Saturday.
That's great.
A day trip?
Flying. Yeah, man.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Flying.
Cheap flights down there. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
No, yeah, I'm driving 16 hours in a day. No, yeah. So flying down Saturday morning, flying back Saturday night.
Oh, so you're doing like
I'm super excited.
You're doing like what you did to Atlanta then.
Yeah. And, hopefully, knock on wood, I get lucky this time and, another support doesn't crack a week before my trip. that would be great.
Yeah. Nobody could have guessed that one. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the top 10 steel coasters. Now for the top 10 wooden coasters from 10 to 1. Number 10, Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
That's a little low, honestly.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a traditional wooden coaster, though. That could be why it didn't rank higher.
Number 9, Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm. If I'm completely honest, I have never gotten the hype behind Ghost Rider. I haven't ridden it, but I've never understood the hype behind Ghost Rider.
I think I'd like Gold Striker at California's Great America more. That looks very underrated.
Ghost Rider, I actually have ridden, but I rode it before the GCI retrack, and it was horrible. Like, I rode it with my mom, who is not like the youngest person, and she hated it. She was in immense pain the whole time. We were just getting jackhammered the entire ride, and it was not good. Yeah, so I would love to rewrite it. I think it would shoot up my rankings real high.
So how long ago was that then? Because when did
it was right before. It was right before. Yeah, so we went out there 2015, I think, and I think it got retracked in 2016.
Yeah,
that sounds right. Yeah.
Number 8, Ravine Flyer 2 at Waldemere.
Yeah, there's like 2 parks in Pennsylvania I got to hit, Kennywood and Waldemere. And
number 8 is the magic number for Ravine Flyer 2. It always seems to rank at number 8 every single year.
Yeah, it for a small park, and for not being this huge roller coaster, and for being in Pennsylvania, first of all, because their coaster collection is stacked. It always seems to get the recognition it deserves.
Yeah, it's my top bucket list wooden coaster.
Oh, yeah. I can totally see that.
Mm-hmm. Now, El Toro was my top bucket list coaster for a long time, but now, and it was obviously my top bucket list wooden coaster, but now my top bucket list wooden coaster is Ravine Flyer too.
Yeah, definitely a good pick.
Yeah. Number 7, Mystic Timbers at Kings Island. That's a good spot, I'd say. Maybe a little high, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of the GCI coasters look very similar, but Mystic Timbers looks good. I don't know if it would be my favorite at Kings Island, but looks good.
Yeah,
I'd have to hear the rest of the list, but I feel like that's a little low. That's one of my higher ranked wooden coasters.
number 6 from the same park, the Beast at Kings Island.
Yeah, nah, I'd probably say Mystic over Beast
Wrong.
at least.
Yeah, that's pretty high for the Beast. The Beast
Yeah.
is fantastic for what it is, but that's pretty dang high for it.
I just don't know how to feel about the Beast. Like, the layout is just so bizarre. It's probably very cool at night because it goes
It
through
is.
the woods.
It is.
But like, it's nothing to like. The actual layout on paper is nothing to rave about. It kind of just meanders around.
The Beast is great for what it is, though.
Yeah,
Super unique.
Yeah, I'll go in with an open mind. I just, again, I
Yeah.
don't know really what to think of it, but I probably would not put it over Mystic Timbers, though.
Yeah, I find it interesting that those two Kings Island Woodies ranked back to back.
Yeah, that's true. That might be the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, number 5, Boulder Dash at Lake Compounce.
Okay.
See, yeah, I got to get back there, man, because I've only had one ride on it, and it was
shirt I'm rocking today.
nice.
Oh, there you go.
That's another one like Ghost Rider. I got to get a ride on it because I got a horrible ride. I think I made the mistake of sitting in like the second or third row. Only got one ride. Did not see the hype at all. I gotta get back there.
I feel like it's probably a back row ride.
Yeah,
Number 4, this coaster shot up from last year, Thunderhead at Dollywood.
Nice.
That is really freaking high, but I'm so glad it's finally starting to earn some recognition.
Hey.
It is now the top ranked GCI once again.
Nice. I've heard good things. I mean, I know a lot of people that have that ranked, same thing as this list, higher than Mystic. So, good for Thunderhead.
You know, it won the Golden Ticket Award for Best Wooden Coaster in 2005 and 2006.
You can definitely see that before El Toro opened too. So
It's
makes
still the only GCI to win the Golden Ticket Award for Best Woody.
Mhm.
But that's the first time. That's the first time in 8 years that Thunderhead's in the top 5.
Awesome.
It's probably because of the awesome retracking that Dollywood has done to it. Everyone loves Thunderhead now. I swear, that thing is in its prime now. 19 years after it opened.
There you go.
Number 3 was my pick for the Golden Ticket Award for Woody this year, El Toro.
Okay, I can see why it dropped a little bit.
It was number 3 last year. So it's the same as it was last year.
Yeah, well, I can see why it's not number 1, I mean, because, well, there is this one coaster that tends to win every single year, even though nobody understands why.
You're right.
I mean, if it were up to me, I would also have El Toro at the top of this list, but,
El Toro or the number 2 spot. Number 2 is Voyage at Holiday World.
I do think Voyage looks better than El Toro now.
I disagree with you there. Having ridden both of them and ridden Voyage again recently, El Toro is infinitely superior when it comes to airtime now.
Okay. All right. Well,
The Voyage is a lot longer, but it's rougher, and the airtime is not as good as El Toro's.
I could see the argument for Voyage having like a more complete layout, and obviously it does have a longer ride experience. But yeah, I mean, like the airtime on El Toro is unmatched, honestly, in my opinion.
I will say though, those two Woodies in my rankings, they separate themselves from all the other wooden coasters I've ridden.
Oh yeah. Those are on another level for sure.
Those are easily the top 2 Woodies I've ridden.
Agreed.
And then we have number 1.
Yeah, if you know it, for the 5th time now, it's Phoenix at Knoebels.
All right. Having ridden El Toro a number of times and Phoenix now a good number of times, I don't even think it's close.
No. Phoenix has now won it 5 times. That's a tie with Voyage and Boulder Dash for the most times a wooden coaster has won Golden Ticket Award.
Wow. I mean, this is just another one of those classic rides that just is always, ranked highly amongst the Golden Ticket Awards. And it's honestly no surprise to me or anybody, I think, that this won it. But the thing I will give, Knoebels credit for and Phoenix in general, though El Toro has stronger airtime, I feel like the argument could be made that Phoenix has better quality airtime. Because you're literally just floating out of your seat upon each hill. You know what I mean? Phoenix is in my opinion probably one of the most unique rides out there because just the airtime is just unlike anything else that I've experienced. Just the lack of restraint, it's insane. You're just literally out of your seat the entire time.
Yeah, because
I do love that.
It feels unsafe. It really does. I don't understand.
It kinda
I
does.
don't understand how they let like little kids on it. To be honest,
It's like
I've
to me,
seen
it's like,
parents like hold their kids down.
oh God, to me, it's like taking a trip back to the past, right? Like hop in your golden ticket time machine and go back to a classic wooden coaster that I feel like back in like the early 1900s, every ride was like that with no seatbelts, no lap bars that came down, and shut tight. Like that's probably what every coaster was like, where you're just literally out of your seat the entire time. So yeah, it's just, it feels out of this world.
Yeah. So Phoenix has won it 5 times. Voyage has won it 5 times. Boulder Dash has won it 5 times. El Toro's won it twice. Thunderhead's won it twice. Raven at Holiday World won it 4 times back in the day.
Yeah.
Need El Toro to win that a couple more times, honestly.
We need El
When was
Toro.
the last time it won? 2018?
2017.
2017. Okay.
It won it in 2012 and 2017.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But
I don't know if it ever will win again personally, although I don't know. Like, it's still really good. It's just not quite the same, I feel like, since it reopened this past year.
All right.
But I don't know. I could talk about that all day. My opinion on that ride is like kind of up in the air right now. I feel like I just need to ride it more.
Yeah, now for the Golden Ticket Awards for the new for 2023 stuff. First up, Best New Attraction Installation, Air Force One.
Hell yeah. That should be in the top 10 steel coasters.
Hey, made the top 25. It made the top 25 steel coasters.
Top 10.
Yeah,
Snubbed.
I'd probably
Snubbed.
But I think in years to come it will definitely climb that leaderboard because it's a new attraction, but that's well deserved. Not only it didn't just win best new coaster because I mean you'll get to that one, but new attraction overall I agree with because like that thing's insane.
I'm disappointed though that it didn't win best new roller coaster because the ride that won best new roller coaster was Wildcat's Revenge at Hershey Park.
Yeah,
I was afraid this was going to happen, and I think the reason why they gave it to Wildcat's Revenge instead of Air Force One is because Air Force One's at FEC and Wildcat's Revenge is at Major Park, and they didn't want an FEC coaster to win that award. I'm afraid.
I could see that, but the way I looked at it, as soon as I heard that Air Force One also won, best new attraction, is that they sort of just spread the love. Because to me, like those two are my favorite new coasters of 2023. And though I do rank Air Force One higher than Wildcat's Revenge, it's almost like they didn't want to give the Oscars to the same movie, right? Like they wanted to like make sure everybody got their fair share. And so yeah, like was Wildcat's Revenge the best new attraction overall? No. Was Air Force One? Yes. And then maybe this new coaster was almost like a consolation prize, but also, I mean, Hershey certainly played a part in that, I think.
Yeah, you can't be mad. Air Force One got a Golden Ticket Award this year, so you can't be mad.
Yep.
Best new family attraction. I predicted this one, and I nailed it right in the coffin. Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge at Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood. Yeah, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah,
makes sense.
I nailed that one perfectly in my prediction.
I'm pretty sure that exact ride will be at Epic Universe when that opens as well, or maybe like slightly different, but the same concept.
Can't wait for that. It looks so good.
Yeah,
I imagine it'll probably be like a Revenge of the Mummy situation where it's like the exact same ride, exact same theme, and then there's like some slightly different aspects about it. Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Mummy's a great ride.
Best new water park ride, Rocket Blast at Waldameer. This is the new water coaster at Waldameer.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Water World or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Waldameer did very good with that addition this year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they add in the next few years. Maybe they'll add something major to their dry park because, I mean, look at what's been going on at these other parks in Pennsylvania these last couple of years.
Yeah. And lastly, the Leadership Award. This goes to a person involved in the theme park industry every year. I personally was hoping it'd go to Jeffrey Siebert, but it actually went to Eric Anderson, who is the leadership at Quasi.
Wow.
I almost feel like Jeffrey Siebert's too easy of a pick because he is like the most outward, communicating type park executive to coaster enthusiasts and the community and everything. Like he posts about everything. Like they install a new park bench or a water fountain or a bathroom, he's posted about it. Like, I mean, you know, like, obviously he's talking about like all the major stuff and the major rides and stuff, but then he'll just post about like random other little things around the park. It's like cool.
Last year,
anything they add is amazing.
Oh my God, he's freaking out about every little thing that Fiesta Texas does. I'm sure that the other guy at Quasi, like, you know, I'm sure he's a quieter leader and you know, behind the scenes.
Yeah,
but yeah, last year Jeffrey Siebert, he actually co-won it with Dick Knoebel, the president of Knoebels last year.
Okay,
nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to see in 2022 they're still, you know, honoring Dick Knoebel as if it was the 90s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Like, that's awesome.
It's amazing that he's still Knoebel's park president at his age. He's 83 years old.
Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of help from his family, but still, he's still the head of the helm. So
I got to meet him last year. Ace Flies with the Phoenix. He's so great. He's so cool.
Yeah,
he's a true Logan Roy.
Yeah,
Empire of the family.
Yeah, he talked to us about the process of relocating Phoenix to that park.
That's awesome.
Last week's episode, we recorded just one day before Six Flags made their 2024 park announcements. And with that, like, we already knew a few things, like the Ultra Surf model that was going to Six Flags Over Georgia had already been announced a few days prior, but we didn't know these next two we're about to talk about. So we're going to start with this one first at probably the smallest park in the Six Flags chain, if not Frontier City. It's Great Escape. So they will add their first coaster since 2005 with the Bobcat next year. First time Gravity Group actually has ever worked with Six Flags too. It's awesome that Great Escape is adding anything because, you know, it's been so long since they added a new roller coaster. Same as Dorney Park. The first time they added a new roller coaster, well, for Dorney, that wasn't relocated, but like a ground up is 2005. That's when Hydra opened.
Yep. Yeah, and it's super exciting for Great Escape, honestly. And I think it's a really great fit at the park. Now, a lot of people are complaining, like, obviously they already have like a major wooden coaster, but, you know, this is going to be like a very different experience than Comet. You know, were there better fits for the park? Sure. You know, I think a multi-launch would have been great. Like, you know, and that's obviously like the dream pick for a park like that. But you can get, you know, one of these small family-friendly Gravity Group coasters probably for pretty cheap. And it's perfect timing. Like, you know, and now they're finally getting rid of a problematic ride in Alpine Bobsled, which I was lucky enough to ride about a month before it closed. And
I rode it too.
A week before they announced it was going to close. So yeah, I totally lucked out with that. I didn't even know it was going to be closing this year, but now I myself and, you know, pretty much everybody else has a reason to go back there next year. Because Bobcat's going to take that plot of land, and I love it for the park. Like it's well deserved, and it took way too long.
This edition, it's way better than some other editions that people were saying they could have gotten, honestly.
Yep. Yeah, I was expecting.
go ahead, Jack.
I was expecting something maybe like Rookie Racer, just like a, you know, like Vekoma Junior coaster, like, you know, just another kind of family friendly ride, which obviously Gravity Group coasters are. But if it's, you know, anything like Oscar's Wacky Taxi, look out. Like that could, you know, very well be, you know, the best in the park.
So it'll have a height of 55 feet, max speed 40 miles an hour, 1,412 feet of track, and it will be very, very similar to Timber at Walibi Alps in France.
Yeah, and you know the stats are modest, but these rides, like, it's just all about how they ride. Like, you don't really know what you're getting into until you actually get on the coaster. And yeah, I mean, you know, I'm so excited for this park. Like, I think it's a great addition.
This one is a slight step up from the normal Gravity Group family Woodies because most of them hover around the 40 to 45 foot height mark. This one is 55 feet. Most of them hover around 35 miles an hour. This one is 40. So this one's a slight step up from the normal Gravity Group family Woodies.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I said on our last episode when they announced they were removing Alpine Bobsled, my initial reaction was, okay, they're probably going to be the first park to add one of the Wild Moose RMC models that were revealed. But yeah, no, I think overall the Gravity Group is a better fit than a Wild Moose model.
When was the last time New York got a new wooden coaster? Because I know for Woody's in New York, Cyclone is 1927.
It might have
be
been Comet.
Predator?
It might have been Comet.
Yeah,
94.
it might have been Comet because 94 was Comet. Predator at Darien Lake was 1990 or 91, something like that. I can't
Early
remember.
90s. Yeah, early 90s.
Is there another Woody in New York that I'm forgetting?
Well, I know there's another Gravity Group in New Hampshire, but that's not,
That's Roarsaurus, right?
Dragon at Ride Playland. I forgot about Dragon at Ride Playland.
I think it was Comet then. Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been Comet. If that's the case, and this is the first wooden coaster that New York has gotten in like 30 years.
Yeah. Now, Great Escape is looking like they may start like expanding and adding more attractions. Look at Adirondack Outlaw. That was a big ride for them 2 years ago.
Yeah. My friend Tyler, he just went there last weekend for Alpine Bobsled's closing weekend, and he said Great Escape's a really nice park. It looks pretty good, honestly.
It's really nice, really nice atmosphere. Doesn't feel anything like a Six Flags park, in my opinion. I mean, it has the typical ads or whatever, but like, it feels really unique in the Six Flags chain.
Great Escape, weird park, but nice in its own quirky ways, I guess.
And luckily getting a new coaster. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Finally, it's about time.
So now let's talk about a much bigger park and a more significant addition, I guess.
Yeah.
This is the Flash Vertical Velocity. Such an overused name. Let me just say that.
I know.
It's the first Vekoma Super Boomerang in the U.S. It's headed to Great Adventure next year for their 50th anniversary. So, Jack, since it's our home park, and when I realized that Jason and I were going to be talking about this week, I knew it was the perfect time to have you on the podcast so you can give your thoughts on this ride. You made a really cool reel on Instagram for this ride. I thought that was like very well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. You've been putting out great content, and I love what you're doing. But besides what you said in your reel, just right here, give us your initial reaction when it was announced.
I mean, yeah, like I think everybody who was predicting this ride hit the nail right on the head. You got Vekoma Super Boomerang, and honestly, I remember when the other one opened in China, like I think like earlier this summer. I just saw the video and I posted on my story, like, oh my gosh, like I would love to see one of these in the US. Like this ride model looks awesome. Like, I can't wait to see, if this eventually, comes over to the States. And lo and behold, like first one or the next one after the first one ever built comes to, one of our home parks. So like, that's insane. And like, I honestly, like, I feel like they looked at the original one with yellow track and red supports and they just thought Flash, like that's perfect, and though Flash Vertical Velocity, it's a very, like you said, overused name. It's at multiple other parks. At least it's, it's a new take on that name. Right. But I will say that for as much as the park was, hyping up the ride and like, doing all the hints and stuff. And, they mentioned Batman and Robin, the Chiller too. I thought it would involve that in some way, and I thought perfect opportunity for them this year would have been to incorporate the new Flash movie, because that has Batman and other DC characters in it, and it involves time travel. So I figured that it would be something along the lines of the comic book Flashpoint. Somebody actually DM'd me that they thought that it would be maybe called Flashpoint, which also works well with the vertical spike. But that's a comic book storyline where the Flash like travels back in time and has Batman involved and stuff. And I thought it could be, something, relatively well themed, something along those lines. But knowing Six Flags, you get what you get. And it's like, just be happy with it. like, as far as theming goes, it's probably just going to be along the lines of like Wonder Woman and, Superman, just like signs in the queue. Maybe there'll be some kind of storyline, but it's going to be limited, like, but I do think it's going to look really cool next to the front entrance. I mean, they just revamped that front entrance. It's going to look sick. Now the capacity, obviously nobody's looking forward to the capacity on this thing. Will there be a turntable? Probably not. Yeah. Like, and honestly, like I would almost think that this ride would benefit from a delay like Aquaman had. Now, I'm not saying I want another pandemic or anything, but like if this ride does have delays and doesn't actually end up opening this year, It would be great if they ended up adding a turntable, but then again, since this is such a new ride model from Vekoma, and the park executives were saying that they just kind of bought this as is and they're just going to put it there because it was like a last minute thing. It's probably, like I said, as is, and it's not going to have a turntable, which is going to stink, but it's I'm really looking forward to those new gen Vekoma vest restraints. I think those are going to be great. And I think it's going to be a really fun ride. I mean, like when I first saw it in China, I was like, that looks awesome. Capacity or not, I think it's going to be a great ride. You just got to rope drop Six Flags and ride it first thing.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those rides that you got to hit when the park first opens in the morning.
Yep.
Or else you're waiting about 2 hours for it.
Yeah. I do hope this has a single rider line though. Like, I mean, that would almost be like a requirement of a ride with just one train in a park like this. Because I think even Jersey Devil has like it can even do like 4 train operations. Like I remember like when it first opened, it had that, and like now it does 3 trains.
It never does.
Exactly. Yeah. But like every ride there like has better capacity, and I think it would be foolish of them not to have a single rider line.
I'll be honest. Oh, go ahead, Jason.
I was going to say, for this being bought last minute, this is a dang good addition.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will say this, though. For a park of its size, I don't think it was their best choice because of the capacity. The actual layout, like it does fill a lot of gaps in the park's lineup. It's the only other launch coaster besides King Ka, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, and the ride the park definitely needed another launch coaster that wasn't one of the most intense launch coasters in the world. You know what I mean?
What's this going to go, like 60?
Yeah, just under. I think it's like 59 miles per hour, and like and you could call that family friendly, but like not even. Like it should still be a pretty intense ride. Goes upside down twice, but upside down 4 times if you consider the backwards element too. I think this is a great addition to the park, and I got my fingers crossed, that this is like the thing that they just bought from Vekoma because they just had an extra one and they got a good deal on it. And then in 2025, like I keep kind of hearing rumors about that there will be something bigger added over like where the old theater was, or still standing, but like they're planning on apparently
the Sun Arena.
No, it's the one next to Medusa. I forget the name of the stadium, but it's
you
like
mean
the concert venue stadium in the back.
Oh, you mean the Northern Star?
Yeah,
Arena,
Northern Star
Arena back there.
So I do think that like somewhere in the future, maybe not next or by next year, I'm already working like 2 years ahead. I'm talking about 2025, maybe 2026 or something like that. Then we get like another multi-launch coaster all the way back there would be awesome. And they have the land to work with. I mean, Great Adventure is the largest amusement park in the world with all the land that they have. And let's not forget the wildlife, like glamping experience that they're adding as well, which that I feel like is a lot more in line with what Salim wanted to do. And this is honestly the perfect park to do it. I mean, like Great Adventure is the only one with that giant drive-through wildlife experience. And, I think it looks like an awesome experience. That's definitely in line with what they wanted to start doing.
Yeah, for sure. So now we're going to discuss all the announcements from Destination D23. It was held at Disney's Contemporary Resort this past weekend. So nothing too major announced because, again, this event is not just for the parks. It's for Disney Plus and their movies, TV shows, the cruise line. It's just anything that has to do with Disney or that Disney owns. So it's not just about the parks, but on here today, we're just going to talk about the parks. So first, I want to acknowledge Test Track. They're going to be reimagining it. It's still going to be sponsored by Chevy. However, they're going to somewhat theme it to World of Motion. So, Jack, do you want to kind of give your thoughts on this?
I've always been a big fan of Test Track, and actually, when I first started getting into roller coasters, like I actually had that on my roller coaster ranking, thinking that it was a roller coaster till I discovered RCDB, and I was like, "Wait, what? Like, where's Test Track?" I'm looking it up. I'm like, "Well, it's not coming up. Like, what's going on here?" And then I had to like discover that it's just this like ultra fast flat ride, I guess. And it's like, what? Like, that's crazy. But yeah, no, it's a really fun ride. But they have been doing a lot of updates to Epcot. Obviously with the Guardians coaster right there, Cosmic Rewind. You got to spruce up everything, right? Like, and so, you know, if a ride's even becoming slightly unpopular, you got to do something to spruce it up, and that's exactly what they're doing here.
True that. Love Test Track. I'm glad that they're not changing the theme entirely, and it's themed after like a movie or another IP. Like, it's
True.
Cool.
Yeah.
Something else I want to note here is that the Bugs Life, It's Tough to Be a Bug show, which is in the Tree Life Theater at Animal Kingdom, is finally going to be removed. That show is so outdated. I don't even think A Bug's Life was ever really that popular to begin with, but apparently they are making a sequel to the movie Zootopia, so they're adding a Zootopia show to replace it, which I think is a pretty good replacement to kind of remind people of Zootopia, because it's been a couple years since that movie even came out, and get people kind of interested again for when the sequel drops.
I mean, it's a great movie. Like, it's super underrated. Yeah, I think I've only seen it once, but it left a mark. And yeah, Bugs Life definitely, you know, like a little bit older of an IP. I will say, dude, it had its time. Trust me, it's coming from somebody who's a little bit older. It had its time. Like Toy Story is more popular now because it had so many sequels. But I feel like A Bug's Life could have had like an alternate universe. I feel like there are 4 A Bug's Life movies. Like, it could have had a similar trajectory. Like that.
I guess I don't remember it ever being.
But yeah, but it's not relevant right now. If Zootopia is going to sequel, much more relevant.
Here's the difference between Toy Story and A Bug's Life. A Bug's Life, that was 1998. 25 years later, A Bug's Life's outdated at this point. Toy Story, on the other hand, is timeless.
But it also has 3 sequels. Like, that's the one they chose.
And several
you know?
TV specials.
And, yeah. A Bug's Life is just a one-off, and then they're like, all right, we're on to new things. But everybody loved Toy Story so much, they're like, all right, we're going to keep doing this. So
you know, they were going to make A Bug's Life 2, but they're like, no, let's go and make Toy Story 2 instead.
Yep, and that's history. I'm telling you, there's an alternate universe where there's a Bug's Life cinematic universe.
That ended up being the better decision anyway.
And then the last one I have here is that they acknowledged Dave Goelz, who not only is celebrating 50 years with the Muppets this year, he is the performer behind The Great Gonzo, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, a bunch of iconic Muppet characters, but he's also the voice of Figment. So at Destination D23, they had a life-size Figment character come out and greet Dave with several cast members on the stage, giving him his shining moment. And apparently you're going to be able to meet Figment now at Epcot. So that's pretty cool, I guess. I was hoping with the fact that they had Dave Goelz there and other Muppet characters making their like cameos, that we were going to see something with Muppet Vision be announced, or maybe a possible replacement, an update, who knows, but sadly, nothing with the Muppets yet, but I can keep dreaming. So yeah, that's basically the 3 major things that I wanted to hit for Destination D23. And then we have one more here. So this one should be pretty quick. You guys have both been on this ride. I haven't. So
oh man,
I think this is probably a good upgrade. So those that are listening on Spotify and not watching, we are now talking about Wildcat at Lake Compounce. Gravity Group is coming in to, you know, make their magic happen and hopefully make this ride better than it is.
Yeah, because for those of you who don't know, Wildcat, it opened in 1927. It was built by PTC. Sorry, it was completely rebuilt in the 80s by, I think it was Den Corporation, and then it was completely.
That sounds right.
And then it was completely rebuilt and retracked again in 2017 by Martin and Vlemex.
It looks like such an innocent little coaster when you walk into Lake Compounce. You got the front entrance. There's like a little like carousel horse on a stick thing, like the statue that you got. And then there's just this like little, you know, old white looking roller coaster, wooden coaster.
Assuming it's going to be tame and nothing.
You think, like it's like this nice little family ride. And then all of a sudden, like you're just being shook all over the place. Like, and it's just, it's horrible, man. Like, it's not good.
Yeah, Nick, for whenever you ride it, if you're expecting airtime on that ride, forget about it, because that ride has no airtime at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I would go to that park for Boulder Dash.
Yeah.
It would probably be a one and done, even with the Gravity Group retrack. But for those that, grew up riding that coaster, like older folks, I'm sure you're happy that it's still sticking around and they're doing the best they can to keep it still operating.
And I don't think they could have gone with a better manufacturer to do this retrack either. I think the Gravity Group should hopefully be the
wooden
chosen
coasters
one.
alive.
Yeah, they should hopefully be the one and only company to actually breathe new life into this roller coaster. Like, I'm actually very excited to see what they're able to do with it.
Yeah, and the layout's not even that good, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's like, if you can just provide a smooth ride experience, because like they have like a good major wooden coaster there already, you just need this one to just be smooth and fun for the kids. Right now, it's not. So it's a very good decision for them to try it again and to try to retrack it just 6 or 7 years later.
I'll just say, though, I'm lucky I even got that credit at all, because when I went to Lake Compounce in 2018, it had been closed for about 3 weeks prior to that. But the day I went was the first day that miraculously was back open again. And for some reason, I stupidly decided to ride it twice. It was so rough.
Yeah,
so
that'd be a one and that'd easily be a one and done.
Would be better in like the front or the back, or like wherever you rode, or just
neither. I rode both front and back. Both were horrible.
Yeah, it doesn't need a reride at all.
One thing I'm wondering, though, will it keep GCI's Millennium Flyer trains that it got in 2018, or will it?
I hope not.
Or will it get Gravity Group's Timberliners?
I like both types of those trains, but I imagine, I know that Grizzly kept its own train, but I would think if you're going to go through the effort of retracking it, that's also partially why it's probably gotten to be so bad, is because it's just got like you said, didn't retracted, and then Martin and Fleming's and like all these different companies, like, and they're all putting their own take on it. Gravity Group's just got to scrap the whole thing and just new track, new train, call it a day. It's now a Gravity Group, and see what happens.
Clearly, the Martin and Fleming's retrack didn't work, because just 6 years after that, they're already having to fully retrack it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll say, though, I
agree with everything you guys are saying. I mean, you're not saying anything that I haven't heard from other enthusiasts. I can't really contribute to this conversation, but I'll just say, sure. All right.
It's supposed to be the precut, it's supposed to be the precut track. And if it ends up being the precut track, and if it rides anything like Grizzly and the Beast do after their retracks, Wildcat will be a really enjoyable ride. If it rides like those coasters do after their precut track retracks.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good point, man. Okay, so we made it to the special segment, and this is going to be it, and then we're going to wrap up today's episode. So, again, Jason doesn't know either, Jack, but here we go. So if you could bring back just one defunct roller coaster from your home park, what would it be and why? And it has to be one that, like, we've never been on before.
Well, this kind of sucks for me, because the only coasters that Dollywood has removed are a Mine Train, a Wild Mouse, and the Kiddie Coaster.
Okay. We'll start with you, Jack, because I'm actually torn between two. But when it's my turn, I'll just pick one.
Well, I live in the Philly area, so I do consider myself having about like 3 home parks. I consider Great Adventure, Dorney, and Hershey all kind of home park eligible, basically. But I'll go with Great Adventure here because they have a ton of defunct coasters to choose from. I mentioned it earlier, Batman and Robin the Chiller. That thing, I remember seeing that growing up, and I didn't really get into roller coasters till probably I was maybe like 10 or 12. But I just remember going to Great Adventure at like maybe 5-6 years old and looking at the park map and seeing that and being like, what's that? And it's like, and it was still on the park map, but it was like basically gone or being torn down or closed, or like it was never available. It was always like an option, and then it was just never there. And it always looked cool to me then. And the videos that I've seen of it, like, it looks awesome. Like I would have loved to go back to opening day of that ride and ride it right then as it was when it first opened, before they modified it. That would definitely be the defunct coaster that I would want to get on.
Did it have the trains like Joker's Jinx?
I believe so. Yeah. With the
Okay.
LIM launches with the fins on the sides. Yeah, I
Because
think
it didn't have over the shoulders, right?
I don't think it did. Not from the videos I've seen. I could be wrong. But yeah, no, that would definitely be the one I would choose. A close second, I think, would be Great American Scream Machine, because that is a defunct coaster that I very well could have ridden. Like my mom rode that like without me and my sister. Like we were too scared to ride. I think probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. And she rode it without us, and I
You're
could
pretty
have
tall.
had that.
I was gonna say you were probably tall enough at that age. I probably was not.
Yeah, no, I totally was. I just chickened out. Like I was right there. Like I could have done it, and I didn't. And that's the one I regret not riding. Now, Batman and Robin the Chiller, I don't think it was ever actually operating while I was at the park. Like I don't remember actually ever seeing it running. I just remember always just seeing the structure and being like, well, what's happening with that thing? You know. So
I know what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense.
I definitely choose the Chiller.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, I'll go last.
Okay, one thing real quick, though, before I do mine. For those Premier Rides LIM coasters, Speed the Ride is up for sale right now.
It is, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in another episode we can talk about where that could go, yeah.
I'd love to see a park buy that, but then again, I don't know if a park would want to put up with a 90s LIM coaster.
I don't think they're sitting in storage forever.
I don't think they're that outdated, though. They kind of live up.
But anyway, this special segment, this is going to kind of suck for me. Actually, can I do Dollywood and Six Flags Over Georgia?
Yeah, you can do both.
Because Dollywood, okay.
I'm just going to do Great Adventure because that's like the closest park to me.
Yeah.
Besides, I guess, like Clementon, but obviously they're only like defunct coaster like is the Jackrabbit, and I don't even want to talk about that because I really know nothing about it.
Clementon doesn't exist. Let's act like that's not there.
For Dollywood, I have Sideshow Spin, which is defunct, but I'll have to go with the Thunder Express, the Arrow Mine Train that's now at what's the park in Arkansas called? Magic Springs.
Magic Springs, yeah.
Yeah. It used to be Thunder Express at Dollywood. And before that, it was at Six Flags St. Louis, actually. But because Dollywood's only ever had 3 defunct coasters: Sideshow Spin, Thunder Express, and Scamper, which was their wooden Wild Mouse coaster from the 1960s.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going with Thunder Express for Dollywood, which is still in operation in Arkansas.
Yeah. And
for Six Flags Over Georgia, I'd probably go Deja Vu. Those giant inverted boomerangs back in their heyday, they looked pretty cool.
What's there, like one left? Isn't it just Aftershock?
For America, yeah. The one I regret not getting though is Georgia Cyclone, definitely. I could have gotten that credit. In fact, I actually tried to get that credit, but I failed because I didn't make it down there for the first time in time.
Gotcha. So my turn.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I think I'm torn between 2, and you already mentioned them: Great American Scream Machine and Batman and Robin the Chiller. I know there would be some people on here that would say, like, what about Rolling Thunder? Nah, not for me. Cool, but I've been on multiple like classic racing wooden coasters, like Rebel Yell at King's Dominion's decent, but even Rolling Thunder didn't even look that good. So
Viper. I'm kidding.
Definitely not Viper.
I'm kidding. I'm being stupid.
But being someone that really enjoys Joker's Jinx at Six Flags America, I'm gonna go with Batman and Robin the Chiller. Although I do love Justice League. If I could have Justice League or Batman and Robin the Chiller, I'd probably pick Justice League because I really like where it's located in the park. I think the Metropolis area is really nice. And that's where the Flash is going to be located. And somehow Cyborg is staying, which I thought they would have removed that.
Yeah.
A great adventure, besides Batman and Robin the Chiller. You know what would have been a cool ride to experience? Ultra Twister.
Maybe if it didn't like hurt my neck.
Those rides look cool, not going to lie.
They're cool, yeah, but I don't know. One of those rides that's like a little outdated, I feel like now.
No, Nick, I think I would rather have Batman and Robin the Chiller than Justice League. I think that would look so cool over there. But at least we're getting a pretty similar to it. Yeah,
Justice League is a great dark ride.
Yeah,
gotta give it that.
But we are getting a pretty similar ride with the Flash vertical velocity. So I can't complain.
Nah, me either. Absolutely
Mm.
not. Okay, so we made it through the special segment. Jack, thanks for coming on, man. It was great having you on. First time ever having you on. We'd love to have you on again, I'm sure, at some point, but it was perfect timing having you on because we were talking about the Flash and a few other topics. You know, like you've been on Wildcats, you contributed to that conversation, so always great. Why don't you plug your socials real quick?
Yeah, man. Thank you so much to you guys for having me. It's definitely an honor. Would love to come back, talk some coasters. Honestly, I feel like I don't get to talk coasters enough. So any opportunity I get is awesome. So yeah, my tag is at Coaster Jawn. That's not my name, John. It's Jawn, like the Philly slang word. At Coaster Jawn on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Definitely, feel free to give me a follow. Like Nick said, I've been, trying to put up some good quality reels for your viewing pleasure. So at Coaster Jawn, check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason, since I did the intro, why don't you sign us out today, man?
Yeah. All right. So thank you all so much for watching this week's episode of The Thrill of Life. If you're interested in hearing more about all the latest theme park and roller coaster news, be sure to tune in. We do episodes of The Thrill of Life all the time here on my YouTube channel, Coasters and Things, as well as Beyond the Thrills on Spotify. So be sure to stay in tune with us. And this is Coasters and Things,
Beyond the Thrills, and
Coaster Jawn.
all signing out. Thank you all so much for watching.
See you guys later.